Hello everyone, I'm making this video to go over a few of the problems from the notes so that way that you can follow along and get some help and you can see how I solve these sorts of problems. So I have them broken up into synthesis, decomposition, double replacement, and single replacement from the package. So let's begin. So the way I would do this is I would first write down the formulas of the elements and compounds first, and then go from there. That's just the way that I would do it. So barium, you look that up on the periodic table, it's Ba. So the key thing you want to keep in mind is when they tell you it's synthesis, then you know you're going to be putting two things together. So and usually it's elements. Two elements being put together gives you a compound. So you have barium plus oxygen. Oxygen is a diatomic molecule. You have to remember that. So it's not just O, it is O2. Okay, so we have barium and we have oxygen. Those are going to come together to form a compound with barium and oxygen in them. So what do you think that's going to be? Right? That's going to be barium and oxygen. Barium is a metal, oxygen is a non-metal, so that's going to be an ionic compound. So they're going to be ions. So you got to know what the charges of these are. Barium is in group 2, so it's going to be a +2 charge. Oxygen is group 6, so it's going to be a -6 charge. Remember, 6 minus 8 is -2. Okay, so did I say -6? I meant -2. So these two together are going to be barium oxide. So BaO, that's what I would get. So barium is +2, oxygen is a -2. So barium is going to be a 2 plus charge, oxygen is a 2 minus charge. Those put together, you get the ionic compound. And so you get the ionic compound here. So now you go from the ionic compound to the name. So barium oxide would be the name, barium oxide. There's no Roman numeral because this is not a transition metal. It's not a metal that has multiple charges. Okay, so that's the first one. Next one. Here, again, I would start with giving the formula from the name. So they give me the name here. The formula is chromium. So chromium has a 3+ charge, and chloride has a -1 charge because it's in group 7. 7 minus 8 is -1. So that means that, so chromium, oops, that's an R, has a 3+ charge. Chlorine has a negative, so I need 3 chloride ions. So it's CrCl3. So this is my product that came from a synthesis of my elements. So I'm going to have one element is chromium, the other one is chlorine. Chlorine is a diatomic molecule. It is not Cl. It is not Cl3. It is Cl2. Okay, so chromium plus Cl2 plus CrCl3. Now I need to balance these equations. Barium 1, barium 1. I have 2 oxygens. I need 2 oxygens over here. So I'm going to balance the oxygens, but notice I have 2 bariums here and now I need 2 over here. So now I'm balanced. Over here I have 1 chromium, 1 chromium. I have 3 chlorides and I need 3 chlorides over here. So what can I do? I'm going to multiply by 3 halves because 3 halves times 2 gives me 3. So, but I need to get rid of the half here. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2 to get rid of the half. So this is going to be 2. This is multiplied by 2 to give me 3. This is multiplied by 2. Oops, wrong one. This is multiplied by 2. Okay. And the names of this, of course, this is chromium. And then this is chlorine. All right, so that would be the names of those. Okay, with me so far? Okay. So, here I have decomposition reactions. So they're giving me ammonia. I should know what ammonia is. It's NH3. So ammonia decomposition is where you're breaking down into the elements. So nitrogen and hydrogen are the two elements. So I'm going to have nitrogen and hydrogen. So N, and now N does not exist as N, it is N2. H is hydrogen. Hydrogen does not exist as H. It does not exist as H3. It exists as H2. So these are both diatomic elements. So then here I need to balance. Oh, I can write the names here. So this is nitrogen and this is hydrogen. Okay, good. So I got the names. Now I need to balance the equation. So I have 2 nitrogens here. I need 2 there. Now I have 6 hydrogens here. I need 6 here. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 2 gives me 6. I am now balanced. All right, next one. In this case, I'm going backwards. So I'm doing decomposition from a compound to the elements. So whatever the compound was had to have these elements in it. So potassium and oxygen. So I have K for potassium. And oxygen, again, is a diatomic molecule. So it's going to be O2. And it's going to, these two together are going to make a compound. Again, I have a metal and a non-metal. So this is going to be ionic, so ions. So potassium has a +1 charge on it because it's in group 1. Oxygen, again, is going to have a -2 charge because it's in group 6. 6 minus 8 is -2. So put those together. So this is going to be a negative, this is a plus, and it's negative. So I'm going to need two potassiums, right? So potassium is positive, oxygen is 2 minus. So I'm going to need 2 potassium to balance the oxygen, the 2 on the oxygen. So what is the name of this? Potassium oxide. Potassium oxide. And now I need to balance this equation. I have 1, I have 2, so I need 2 there to balance the 2 here. I have 2 here, I need 2 here, I need to put a 2 there to balance, but now this is unbalanced with 4, so I need to erase this and put a 4. Now it's balanced. Okay, with me so far. Okay, let's keep going. I got 4 more to go. So now I'm doing double replacement. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to write the formulas first, figure out what the missing compounds are, and then write their names. I think that's the easiest way to go. So, or another way to go, I mean, you might find this easy, is I can switch the names together. So sodium can go with oxide for sodium oxide. Chloride can go with lead 2, so lead 2 chloride. You know, you could go that route too, that's fine. Either way, you got to get to the answer. Alright, so here I got sodium chloride. Sodium is a +1 charge. So I need 1, and chloride is a -1. So, oops. So I have sodium, Na+, Cl-. They're 1 to 1. So that's going to be the formula. So the important thing about this is no matter what I get, especially with ionic compounds, I need to make sure that the formula is 0 charge. If it's not 0 charge, I don't have the right formula. And it must be in the lowest whole number ratios. It can't be Na2Cl2, Na3Cl3. It's got to be lowest whole number ratios. Okay, so I got lead 2 oxide, lead 2 Pb. 2 Roman numeral means there's a 2 charge on there. Oxide, oxygen. It has a -2 charge because it's in group 6. 6 minus 8 is -2. So 1 each is going to give me the formula. So PbO, balanced charge, 2 plus, 2 minus. Okay, now I have my formulas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the inside, I'm going to put the inside together, lead and chloride, and I'm going to put the outside together. So sodium and oxygen. So I'm going to put those together. So NaO, oxygen is a -2, so I need 2 sodiums for every oxygen, plus Pb and Cl. Lead has a charge 2, so it's going to be PbCl2. So then there's my two reactants that I start with. This is sodium oxide, and this is lead 2 chloride. And so now I just need to balance the equation. So I'm going to balance the equation. Okay, so I have 1 sodium here, 2 there, so I need 2 there. I have 2 chlorides here, 2 chlorides, good. I got 2 times 1 is 2, I got 2 chlorides. I have 1 lead, and I have 1 oxygen, it is balanced. Okay, next one. Alright, so here they're giving me the reactants, and I need to find the products. So I'm going to write down the formula for the reactants. So sodium again is an Na+. Nitrate is NO3 minus. So 1 each will balance out the charge. So NaNO3. That's the formula for sodium nitrate. Sulfuric acid, you need to know how to get the formula. So sulfuric acid, this is sulfuric, it's not hydro, it's an oxyacid. So sulfuric means it came from sulfate. So I have a sulfate here, and it's an acid, so I need hydrogens. Hydrogen, this has a -2 charge, so I need 2 hydrogens to balance that charge, even though this is not an ionic substance. So H2SO4 is the formula. So now I have the 2 formulas. Now I'm going to do the inside-outside again. So I have the inside for the sodium and hydrogen, or nitrate and hydrogen, and the outside is going to be sodium and sulfate. So I'm going to put the hydrogen and sulfate, or nitrate together. Hydrogen will have a +1 charge. Nitrate has a -1, so theirs are going to go together. So it's going to be HNO3. And then the sodium and sulfate are going to go together. Sulfate has a 2- charge on it. Sodium has a +1 again. So I need 2 sodium to balance out the charge. So plus Na2SO4. Okay, so now I have the formulas are correct. The charge is balanced. The formulas are correct. So now I can get the names. This is nitric acid. Okay, this is sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate. Okay, so I got sodium sulfate. Now I need to just balance this formula. So I have 2 sodiums here, 2 sodium. I need 2 sodiums here. 2 times 1 is 2. So I have 2 nitrates here. I need 2 nitrates here. So there's a 2. I have 2 hydrogens. I have 1 sulfate. So this is balanced. Okay. I think I have time for one more. So here we have single replacement reactions. So here I'm just going to replace one of these things. Now this is a metal, this is a metal. So the metal can only replace metal, non-metal is going to replace non-metal. Okay, so that means the aluminum is going to kick off the iron 2, and that's going to give me iron. And then aluminum has a 3+ charge. Oxygen has a -2, so I'm going to have to balance that. So this is going to be Al2O3. So this is going to be iron. This is aluminum oxide. And so now what I'm going to do is balance it. So I got to write this down. So Al for aluminum. And then iron 2. Iron has a 2+ charge. Oxide has a -2, so I need 1 each. So 1 each balances the charge. Now I can balance this equation. So I have 2 aluminums here. I need 2 there. Okay? 2 there. Iron 1. I have 3 here. So I'm going to need 3 here. And then I need 3 here to balance the iron. And that's balanced. So I hope this is helpful. I didn't have time to get to the next one, but I hope this is helpful enough to help you prepare for the quiz. Good luck, everyone. See you in class.